This is called a graduated cylinder, and specifically it is a 100 milliliter graduated cylinder, and I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to read this tool. Now, you're going to have to trust me on some of this because it's not going to be easy to see, but I'm going to pull this up here close. And the thing about water is when you put it in a container, it actually forms a little curve right there. And the camera lens angle is not the exact angle that I want to read this tool with. So, to remind you, I have to identify the smallest markings on my tool. And I notice here that each marking represents a milliliter. And so I will need to take this reading to the 10th of a milliliter. So each little marking represents 1 milliliter. And the curve in this tool is of the water that goes up the sides a little bit is called a meniscus. And you always want to read the meniscus at the very bottom of the curve, so at the lowest point of the curve. And so to read this tool, a lot of students, let me show you what not to do. A lot of students will take this and hold the tool up and look at the reading. This is improper because you don't know if you have it level, you don't know if your eyes are on the right level. So that is not correct. Another correct way to not read this is to be on a different level than meniscus, right? So the proper way to read this would be to bring your eyes down to the right level with the meniscus. I can see after the table stops that the meniscus is coming just below 64 milliliters. So for my reading, I'm going to estimate that 10th of a milliliter, and I'm going to say it is 63.7 milliliters. And again, you're going to have to trust me on this because I can't get the camera lens at the right exact level, but 63.7 is my reading of this graduated cylinder. Mrs. Stansel, or Miss Stansel, would you come take a reading? Notice she's getting her eyes at the right level, and she may come up with a different decimal.
I would agree with you. 64 is the bottom of the meniscus.
64? Mm-hmm. So you say 64.0? Because I said 63.7, and both of those measurements would be accurate. Or would be the right precision.
I would call it 63.9 because it is a little under that 64 line.
Okay, so you heard it here. Miss Stansel said 63.9. Mr. Scott says 63.7. Both readings are perfectly acceptable for this tool.